Why don't you tell them to quiet down?
Oh, they're probably not going through the mic though.
We're streaming in here, birds.
Yeah.
Somebody somewhere else to be.
I went outside at 8:30 and I came inside at 2:30.
Wow. You're an explorer.
Yeah, explorer of the chair on my deck. I found every corner of that seat. Hello, Edward. Hello, Blair. Hello, Jinxie. Yes, Mike is back. No, it was gorgeous day today. It's a little warmer now, but it was. I had a really busy day, so it was nice to just get out there, put on headphones. Well, I put on headphones to listen to music, and then I had listened to like music for 15 minutes and had a meeting, then 15 minutes and had another meeting, and then a half hour that had another meeting. I'm like, God, no, I want to just listen to music. Then my headphones died. First world problems.
All I see is a sunny day, birds chirping, and you trying to tell me it's a nice day outside. And sun's gonna get in your eyes, those birds just never shut up.
Not on this side.
What you need, though, is a nice, heavy, cloudy day, and if all the birds dead, then it's a nice day.
No, I was at one of the meetings I was in. I had my headphones in, or my normal ones, and I went to speak, so I, unmute, said what I needed to say, and then, but that bird was like right out there being loud, and he goes, "Did I just hear a bird?" So he says, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm out in the deck." He goes, "Oh yeah, it's a perfect day for that." And they're just like, "Oh yay!" So nobody cares. If you sit with your mic on and there's like some explosions going off, like there was a guy with a mower going by, and a couple times I'd have to go speak, and so I would have to go inside so that I wasn't like, as soon as I turn on the mic, going.
It'd been more amazing if it was like just a bunch of ducks are just there and they're just like.
We get the turkeys every now and then.
Yeah, they're out and about.
Yeah,
and strutting their stuff.
If I need to, I'll catch one. We can have dinner. Thanks for that follow, Alex.
The animation that Argo totally made. Yeah, I totally believe you.
Yep.
Given how much progress he's made in this video.
Hello, Joseph. Just wanted to say hi. Well, hello. See, you weren't here, so I made a lot of progress.
You did. I figured it's because, it was boring.
Let me see here. Actually, you know what? I'm still running at 720 60 FPS, but I'll just leave it. So be a little smaller for you guys. Hello. It's I was gonna say it's Friday. Like my brain is in a weird place there. Hello. Good evening. For those that it's evening for. Hello, Ice. Hello, Nolan. I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. Michael is back.
I am back.
He needs to be in for. You gotta move your camera this way.
I'm no longer.
You picked it up and you moved it that way, and I'm like, no.
I didn't realize I moved
it. That's the first thing you did. You're like, I don't want to be on the camera.
I'm done. I'm no longer surrounded by cows.
Mm-hmm. Now you're surrounded by horses.
Horses and the occasional dragon. More derbies.
First bit of head in a while, thanks to Liberty Mutual. Well, thank you, Jinxie, but really? Is that the Liberty Mutual have a promotion or something?
They have bit program for derbies, just for derbies.
It was an ad?
So you're serious?
Oh, okay. I didn't know you could get bits from ads. See, I've only been streaming for 8 years. That doesn't mean I actually know what the hell goes on this platform. Back in my day, you just streamed and there was no bits. People came because they just had nothing better to do.
Back in my day, we only streamed in the toilet, not by trees.
I think you're talking about something else. Okay. So I did get some work done on this. But to do that, actually, but a lot of it was getting these first shots figured out. We're 100% done. I didn't like the lighting at all on them, so I completely redid the lighting. I actually have to redo. So I'm going to be changing the sky box. So I just move this down so you can see it. There's a property. You can type in SV_Sky name, and then as long as it's loaded in Militia HDR, comes with, I believe, Counter-Strike. I was going to say C-Strike. That's what it's called in the files. And it will redirect to that new one. It is instanced, meaning when I quit the program and I reopen it, it will not have that anymore. So you need to apply this every time. But it makes things look significantly better because it's actually like daytime now. Liberty. I have no idea what you're talking about. Is that like the ad? Oh, it's an ad song thingy. See,
Liberty. Yeah.
See, this is you're falling for their ads. They make a catchy little tune, and you come here and you make me talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Now we all have to get Liberty Mutual.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they do, but we all have to get it.
They do mutualing
For liberties?
For freedom. Hello, MJ. How's it going? This guy isn't depressed anymore. Yeah, but as soon as I go to, or what this is going to do is any map. Well, actually, if I unload and reload a new map, it probably will overwrite it. But otherwise, this is a temporary thing. That's why I put up your SV Sky name. I've used that plenty of times before. The reason I have to use a skybox on this is because, so if you look in the distance, I don't want the fog to look like that. That looks like crap. So I already have, I'm going to turn this on, I'm going to load, and then it's really weird. So you have to kind of like hit set, save, load, set, save, load, save. I don't know. You just keep hitting buttons until it works. So I reset it so that it gives a little bit more of a blue. So the main reason being that this now will kind of fade into the distance. But at the right angles. Well, that one is a little different because I have a light coming through, but it's to have it blend better in the background. And then I added a white volumetric light that was right at the base of the sky for, because if you ever look at a horizon, it's not blue sky right to the horizon. The closer you get to the horizon, I think it's even the more humid it is, it tends to be white. It starts to get like further from blue and more towards a white. So it's just more natural to create like a white border at a horizon. So that's what I did here. I've seen a ton of ads about that. The ones I always see is like, have I seen Liberty Mutual on there? I can't remember. There's like 2 or 3 that I see the most, but I don't pay attention to them, so they don't remember them. So yeah, I redid all the lighting on this, and it might seem minor, but I took the lighting stuff that I used at the other shot, mainly to have like these nice shadows coming across. And down here, so it just ended up popping a lot more, and with the blue background it just looks a lot better. And then I redid some of the background for everything here. I spent quite a lot of time. Yeah, if I get rid of that white light in the background, so this is the horizon light, so now it's just blue right to the horizon, but that doesn't feel as natural as creating this like horizon kind of faded white that's going across the edge here. So yeah, I went and redid that. I redid this one, so her lighting now is way better. I redid the background, so this just now looks more final. This looks renderable. So does that look good? Look, a horse.
Got horse. That's pretty good.
You can have your mic now.
Yay! Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
Wow.
I did turn it on. I had to make you think that I cared.
Let's see. Well, it's got horse and it's got small horse, and this is good.
Yep, it's got horse and small horse.
For the
it's all. She's actually in front. It's just playing on the perspective. See, there's no overlap.
It's true. She must be super far away.
Mm-hmm.
And stubby.
And stubby.
Yes.
So yeah, I did all this one. I really like how this one turned out.
It is a cute face. Look at that face. Like, apple. He said, apple. Yeah, apple. She's excited. It's gonna get apples.
You want apples?
Mm-hmm. Do you want apples?
Want orange?
No. Pretty sure.
Do you want apple pie? Pineapple?
You confused.
Too confused.
Not know what pineapple is.
Is it apple? Is it apple?
It's apple.
But yeah, so this one was redone. This is one that you really thanks for the follow, Cat. This one's the one where you can really tell the difference with that horizon light. If you turn that off, now it's just bright blue to the horizon, which literally gives you like a cutoff. It doesn't feel natural, but you have that little white back there, and it actually just feels better. It's weird, but I really like how this one turned out. This one is done though. I feel like
what this puppy can do.
I feel like because I extended it to have her pop up there, that she's kind of sitting still here for a little bit, and I have to add a little bit to her.
My apple bloom's moved a little bit.
Hmm?
The apple bloom's getting up on the tractor now too.
Well, yeah, because there's the whole CMC's going. So I had to redo some stuff to do that, and I did add a little bit of like a guitar music in the background
We're in
here.
the big leagues now.
This is kind of like I just needed something in the background, so I said something. So she gets on the tractor. Oh, and I think the steering wheel was missed here, and so I put that on there. Thanks for the follow, Cartoon Cat. This one, oh yeah, I haven't animated her at all yet.
Gas her up.
Nah, I figured the Ritalin just kicked
Big
in.
Mac, gas her up.
But now you can actually see like there's actually a nice shadow coming down from her hat.
Gas her up.
That wasn't there before, so that actually took me quite a while. I'm hearing actual Applejack. This is 15 AI. But I spent forever going through trying to find the right tone. I did a lot of different ones to get just to where it sounded right, and it didn't sound mechanical. Where some of them you definitely could tell was fake. These ones are actually really hard to tell that they're not fake or that they're fake.
Well, apparently, when the guy working on 15 AI finishes it, he's state and he won't be able to tell the difference.
Well, it's all training, so it's just about giving it as much as possible and then it learning from that. So yeah, this was done. This
For a
one
test drive.
I redid. I think this one,
It's time for a test drive.
I thought it was already pretty good.
the lighting.
No, 15 AI.
Oh yeah.
I wish
for a
you'd give
test
it back. Give it back, sir.
Drive.
I did figure out. So this lenses, I spent a while trying to figure out why is it causing this error. Because if I come from the back end, it works fine. But then as soon as I get far enough in, once it interacts with the model in a specific way, it will cut and then it will stay that way. So I played with a couple things and I figured out, I couldn't figure out what specifically was triggering it, but I got ideas on it. But I figured out that the only way I can make the goggles look like this constantly is to do what I didn't want to do, which is anytime the goggles are there, dual render every shot and do a 50% in post. That is about it. I couldn't figure out a way to solve it with what I know. So whatever. So I will have to dual render these because it looks actually really good and with like this. And the nice thing is if I dual render it, I can choose how opaque to make it. I have full range from invisible to, or completely see-through to completely covering her eyes. Though it is kind of cool when she does have her eyes fully covered. I think, I can't. I don't think I can shut this off easily. Oh, I still have it here. She looks like a badass.
He looks like. Oof.
Look at that. It looks like the very end of the Sonic movie.
You're trying to say she looks like Dr. Robotnik?
Yeah, give her a little mustache. She'd be totally Dr. Robotnik. So yeah, I played with alpha test, which is another type of translucence. I tried getting rid of. Actually, I can probably put these back on. Environment maps. I played with a whole bunch of different crap, and I tried using, instead of translucence, because it was just it's using a mask, but all you really have to do is just give it an alpha of 50%, and it does the exact same thing. So the problem is that problem persists across that too. So Sonic movie was good. I did enjoy it.
I am looking forward to the second one.
So these shots are going to look really exceptionally bright because the only way to soften these shadows was to put a high radius, and radius only looks good when it's set up right. Actually, I'm going to remove shadow attenuation there. I think... Actually... Oh wait, that one doesn't matter. It's this one? Yeah, it's this one. I don't want to have the shadows that dark. There we go. That's better. If I don't put the radius up like that high, it's going to look like this, and that doesn't... No, I want some nice soft shadows. Like that. So I redid that one. I redid this one. The steering wheel is still gone from this. I thought I put it in there. You need that to drive. I swore I put it in there. Oh. Is this what I think it is? Oh. Steering wheel, why don't you go over there? So I did put it in there. I'm not crazy. You go down there. Okay, this is where the red is. Okay, I guess we're just moving it manually. I'm guessing I moved the tractor for a better backdrop, and I just forgot about it. Okay, is that going to get in the way of stuff? It kind of is. All right, we're going to cheat. Look, there's a smaller steering wheel now. Oh my god. Why'd that happen? Which looks better? This side or the other side? Oh, definitely this side. Okay. So, and then I did that too. I do have to add apple bloom to this shot. I did redo this shot of lighting as well. This looks significantly better as well. I also play with the tractor's brightness so it actually looks correct. Yeah, it's gonna get so small. That's why she can't do any. Actually, you know what? Yes, that would freak me the hell out too. Okay.
Driving, the steering wheel just vanishes.
So yes, we need to add steering wheel. Where is steering? Oh, okay, steering wheel. You need to come back here.
Got away from you just a little bit.
So this one, we're gonna do root, and then this one's gonna be on joint, I think. Yeah, I don't think that's anything else. Okay. Oh, that's backwards. Oop.
You're a horse, you don't know. You don't know what's backwards and what's forward.
She got a tractor, and my idea on this is that she has no idea what a tractor even is. So she just gets on it, and she's like, what does this pedal do? Well, thank you.
It's not an apple.
Thank you, Nolan. Thank you very much. And congrats to Theo.
If it ain't an apple, she don't know nothing about it.
What? I agree. It's a good 3 letters. My favorite 3 letters. Considering Applejack's driving a missing steering wheel would make sense. Well, she has no idea what she's doing. So yeah, she lands. These ones I have not fixed the lighting on. I do have to go through these. Actually, I have the lighting on. No, I have it on. It looks so much better with that sky as blue, though.
Personally, I hate the letter T.
So that's all fine. These ones, nothing was done on these shots. And then we're still working on these ones. These ones I have made a bit of progress on. This is lesson number 1. Life doesn't give you seat belts. Lego Bat. Oh. I don't think I've seen Lego Batman. I think I actually have, but I think... No, it was playing in the background, but I didn't watch it.
Is that the movie that won 12 Emmys? Pretty sure.
Lego Batman?
Yeah.
I hope not.
What do you got against Lego Batman?
It just seems like it seems like they've lost their. Well, this is 2020 maybe, but. The whiskey is cool. Oh, you got the whiskey has sunglasses. Okay. No, so I did some work, or we did some work on this last time. But until potentially 15 AI comes up, I'm kind of limited on what I can do here. I might have to go other options if it takes too long. So these are going to basically be some of the last shots I poke at. But then we did add in the car part.
The car part?
Yeah. She's hanging on.
Everyone else is hanging on. Scootaloo's she's just being pressed into the grill of the track.
She's fine. Oh, and then I was trying to think of like how, like, what can I do after this? And so far it's been like a bunch of the driving, then a situation, and then car pops up, and then a situation, car pops up. So I thought I would skip the situation and just jump right to car pops up. And so this one is just going to be super quick.
You're just going to have him crash into the skull. Never mind.
And I want to have it. So I was thinking of making after. I wanted to have Cheerlee's head pop out for like a minute or something. But then, because I can't open this door. It's a flat texture. This thing is super cheap.
More children on the train.
I was thinking of make a Katamari ball of ponies and have them rolling down. Have them like everybody's running away from a ball of pones rolling down the hill.
Ball of pones. That sounds like a dream.
But I like the whole house.
Just the whole thing. With foundation. Ponies don't believe in foundation.
I'll have to color these red too. I was going to bed one night and I'm like, I'm gonna have a runner to school. Because it's about escalation, and this seems like the extreme. Oh. It seems like child abuse, but
a little bit.
A little bit.
I'll get you. I'm getting the Carousel Boutique ready, but the hardest thing about that building, it's round.
Mm-hmm. Which means there's lots and lots and lots and lots of vertices.
Yeah, so I'm having to figure that out.
But that's what you can. You all you have to do is make it round enough. I mean, technically her glasses are supposed to be round, but it's flat. It's just making it round enough.
No, I figured it out. I just got to texture it now.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I did here. So a lot of what I did this weekend, and I spent actually quite a while on this, is getting this lighting figured out and some of that stuff cleaned up. I think what I'm actually going to do though is we need to add a horse to this shot.
A good horse?
No, there was definitely people working in there.
They're dead now.
I was gonna. Let's see.
Have you thought about how you're gonna end this video yet?
I keep well, the schoolhouse thing was super easy, so that's why that one's not that bad. But yeah, I need to start working towards that. I don't want it to go too much longer. I think what I want to do is I just want to load up a ton of ponies and just jam them all into a ball, and then just have them roll down the hill. So and then crash into a wall. Oh no! So that was the thought I had.
Are you gonna kill the ponies?
No, I wanted to have it do the cut to credits. You know how like you usually do that with you cut to the show credits, but I wanted to like get a kazoo version or something, like even if I get my own kazoo, so that it's like a non-copyrighted version of it, or at least a cover version.
How are you talented enough to play the kazoo?
No, the worse that I do, the less chance there is of me getting a copyright on it. So worse is good. And then whatever the normal credits in the end, I want to just make it look like those credits instead. So
I kind of want one of those scenes where it shows that they're about ready to crash into like a pile of dung or a pile of mattresses, but then they just hit a wall instead. You know, that classic misdirect.
I still have to fix her in the shot because her eyes kind of go a little wonky. She looks like she kicks the building. Wow.
She's drunk. Kind of want a sign to just hit her in the face. I'm gonna turn that down.
Put it over there.
I thought I turned it down over there.
You turned it up.
I don't like this phone. I'm using my wrong thumb. It doesn't like that.
Well, then leave it in your car.
I did turn it all the way down. I'm turning it off.
But then what if your boss has to get a hold of you?
We'll have to get over it.
So this one I don't think I need... Yeah, I don't actually need any animation.
I'll do it.
What are you doing?
No.
I had a guy in a meeting earlier today that as soon as he joins the meeting, he's done it like 3 times. It starts his voicemail playing. So like I'm trying to talk, and then as soon as I start talking, like be like, if you like it, leave a message, blah blah blah, and then it kept going on repeat. I just kicked him from the meeting. Could you figure it out?
It's like the kitchen.
What did you do?
I know how to turn off that phone. That phone is scary and new. I'm just gonna leave it in the kitchen.
you know you did, phone.
It's in timeout. Started talking to me. Phones aren't supposed to talk. We'll talk.
That's the most oxymoronic thing I've heard you say.
But they're not supposed to talk on their own. This is how Skynet gets started.
So where did Skynet start? Oh, I was in a small single man's house.
Yes.
His phone just started making random noises.
They put it in timeout and it started getting ideas. Like, you know, if I took over the human race, I wouldn't get put in timeout.
I just realized that technically she's not connected. There. This should go good. Tractor. So we're gonna lock you to joint 1. Okay. I was trying to see if I could find a way to extend the shot, but I couldn't do it. Like it felt like I needed it to be longer, but whenever I made it longer, it didn't feel right, and it made it worse.
I still like the idea of just stopping right here and just having like the narrator like show up, like kind of like the Duke boys were at it again kind of thing, but just Applejack's like, it was in this moment Applejack realized she didn't know a thing about tractors, and then you just continue the scene.
But it would completely break pacing.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs to be a little bit longer, but you're talking about like...
I'm talking about no more animation, just pausing it here, having a narrator be like, it was this moment Applejack realized she was a dum-dum.
It pauses me like, chapter 1.
Because
it was a fine summer day.
She's doing the ramp thing. Like she's in the air. It's like a classic reference to a 1970s TV show that everyone would get.
Yep, a classic reference to a 1970s TV show while playing Eurobeat.
I like that derpy, by the way.
Thank you, Soviet Grapes. Who's your favorite villain? It would actually be easier for me to answer who I don't like as a villain than who I do.
My dad.
Mm-hmm.
I said my dad.
Your dad. I think he was talking about the show.
Oh, makes more sense.
No, if I had to say who... There's a difference between the best villain and the best designed villain, I think. Because I would say like no, that's a tough one.
Does Trixie count?
I love all the villains for different reasons. Like I love Sombra because of like the whole army and everything. Like and he was an open book for a long time. They kind of closed some of those chapters, but he was pretty open book for a while. And I love Chrysalis because she was just freaking crazy.
I didn't like Chrysalis. I liked Changelings though.
I like with working with content, I like dark, like high contrast, low light like stuff because you can like direct people's view to certain things. Daylight I don't like as much. It's taken me a lot longer to learn how to do daylight better, but I love being able to like direct people to where they're going to look at based on low lighting. And so Sombra and Chrysalis are great for that. Mm-hmm. But I love, from an animation perspective, I love working with Changelings and Chrysalis because they're so fun. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably say them. And not just Chrysalis, but like the Changelings themselves. Because they're the only one that literally had just like a giant army. And it was just like the big hillbilly family that was just like, we're going to take over Equestria. Hee-haw.
I liked Trixie. Because
Trixie wasn't a villain for very long, though.
Yes, but when she was a villain, she didn't do it because she had some grand master plan or she was out for anything. She was just spiteful and like a little bit egotistical. She's just like, hey, she's like the kind of person you show. She's like, hey, you made my taco wrong. I'm shutting it. I'm taking over the restaurant. It's just, she was wonderfully horrible. And then later in the show, when she was like not a villain, she was still a problematic character at times, which was very interesting.
I don't think that her character really ever changed. No. It was just that the things that she was doing were, I'm gonna even say less evil. Like the whole thing with like the table.
Yeah, she just didn't care.
But then that's a bad thing, sure. But then Rainbow Dash goes and commits like terrorism.
Oh,
and is forgiven.
Weather Factory?
Yeah,
because she's cute, so it's fine.
Do you see the picture that was posted? I think it was. Oh no, you guys posted it in the horse images too.
It's adorable.
She do science.
She gonna do science.
Very smart.
Is that a Rainbow Factory thing?
I don't know, but the fact that this is making some green glue and she's got some in her mouth.
Why is she eating the rainbow?
I don't know why she's eating or drinking the colors.
Look, I do science.
It does.
Look, I do science.
And this is
drank the science.
My favorite part is like the small little details. Yes. And if you look here, welcome to the Laboratory of Radioactive Microbiology. Please don't touch anything without stuff permission. Return the guest badge to the receptionist when leave.
So she got a guest badge to go inside the science.
Yes. So she's
doing a good balancing act.
She's definitely she's drunk.
She drank all the science.
She's trying to become Spider-Man.
That's how you get science.
Spider-Horse.
You drink it.
Yeah, that's a good
derpy too. I saw a derpy.
What?
There's a derpy there.
What about the other one?
I posted that one.
Yes, you did.
That's a good derpy. She's super derpies.
Super
derpies.
See, this is a tablecloth with a muffin on it. Yes. And that made her super? Is that all you need to be super is just a cape?
Yes.
Like, that's it?
Yeah.
Nothing more?
Yeah.
So you could be super?
I'm super every day when I put my cape on, yeah.
You have a cape?
Yes, I run around in my room and I wear it.
Move your arms up. Yes. What's the cape?
It's a fancy cape. It's a Halloween cape for Dracula, because Dracula's a superhero. Dracula's my favorite superhero.
I can't say he isn't. If you really define superhero,
He's certainly got superpowers. He can fly.
Is he a villain?
That's a matter of perspective.
You're gonna say that word for word.
The people of like Transylvania love the dude. Well,
yeah, because he's been like a marketing
he makes
great for him.
His superpower is making money and transforming into a bat.
But money first.
Money first. That's the useful superpower. Transforming into a bat turns out not that useful. You can make lots of guano, helps fertilize the fields, but other than that,
maybe he's the one that started Corona.
He bit somebody, and that's how.
No, they came from like the bat poop or something.
Yeah.
He's one like pooped somebody's drink.
Well, yeah, maybe. But he also like bites people, so. I mean.
Yeah, bad Dracula.
Dracula. No. He's still a cool superhero,
though. Yeah, I'm actually going to see if we can do some of the lighting on some of these. I'm kind of curious. So, the lighting for these is actually kind of tough because it's very, very far away. Where the hell am I? Over there. Okay, so now I'm aimed at it. But is this where I want to have the sunlight coming from? I don't feel I would want to.
You know, speaking of vampires that don't like the sunshine, I still think the funniest image in my brain is my version of the movie Twilight, where the guy steps into the sunlight and says, "Check this out," and he gets all sparkly. The whole thing where he like it's all sparkly. But
I've never seen Twilight.
Well, there's a scene where he's like,
Why did you watch Twilight?
I only watched it up to this part, and then I laughed and walked away. The guy's just like, watch this, and he steps into the sunlight and he starts sparkling all over. I wanted so bad for him to be like, watch this, walk into the sunlight, and immediately just burst.
There's probably an edit out there.
It would be so great.
What movie was it that was like everybody in the world had became vampires, and nobody could go outside? And
Are you talking about the one with like the like old person on the porch who spoke to the only other person who wasn't transformed?
no,
Because like,
maybe it was like, but the whole world had built around it. So cars were completely encased. Everybody sat like nobody went outside. Like the whole cities were built on the inside. They ended up. The whole premise was that there was a blood shortage. Because they couldn't feed everybody.
they were out of people.
But the one guy was like, "So how did you stop?" Because he was no longer a vampire. He's like, "How did you stop being a vampire?" And they just have a cutaway of like him driving in a car and he hits something and he goes flying out the windshield and then immediately starts on fire as he's flying through the air. It is spectacular.
I can say for certain I have not seen this film.
Oh, let's see.
She drank all the science.
I thought it started with day something. Daybreakers.
Is it a is it a Blade film?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, I think it was like one of these ones. I just want to see if I can find. Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, here it is. It's just.
This is how he stopped being a vampire?
Just like what?
Sure.
But that's
If he's a proper vampire, water should hurt him too.
But that's you know who that is.
Oh, I do recognize that face.
I forgot his name. William Dafoe.
William Dafoe, okay.
I knew somebody was going to make a comment on that, but I just love the fact that like, he hits something, he goes, ah! Woof.
No, I've never even heard of that film. It's got William Dafoe in it? That's crazy.
It's interesting. Because it's interesting about like normal vampire movies about them being the bad guy, but now everybody in the world is, and now they're trying to figure out, like, now that everybody's a vampire, how do you survive?
Yeah.
And so they're trying to do artificial blood, and they're not able to keep up. And it's an interesting premise. So they're basically starving. But it's like vampires going to a coffee stand and they put blood in the coffee, but they're out and like people getting. So it's interesting. It's like our world, but vampires.
Yeah,
Without sparkles.
I could see kind of wanting to be a vampire just because you get to live forever.
Yeah, but you're also like you gain something, but you lose a ton of other things.
I already don't like going in the sun.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Like, I can live without the sun, okay? But if I could be, like, 25 forever, like in those Twilight movies or whatever. That'd be as long as I don't sparkle.
Yeah, but
I want to burst into flames when I walk into the sun. It's just this is wrong to sparkle. Okay,
it's wrong to sparkle.
it's wrong to sparkle.
You heard that here.
It ain't natural here. Vampires are supposed to explode.
You ain't exploding. You ain't right.
Oh, jeez.
I think all the lights the same.
They're getting on you. You forgot to put back Stupid Face.
Oh, I did forget to.
Why'd you take Stupid Face away?
Because we did the game stream.
I just want to keep seeing that rainbow with all the science liquid. Like, she clearly drank it. It's very important. You don't have to reactivate that one.
They're all back.
It's so cute. Look, I do science. Do the science.
According to Dash, getting drunk.
I almost kind of want you to do instead of a side twi, I want you to do a side rainbow. I feel like that would be amazing.
Oh, you know what? This one is not done yet. And this was actually one that I'm confused about how to go about. Because it sounds so easy, but it's not. For one, this is very different brightness in the ground. I might need to look at that. So... particles. How to do the particles. Yeah, so like even this now, this is way brighter. This is... yeah, this I might need to... see, I like this lighting right here, kind of. I'll probably have to fade stuff. I might add a few more trees. But that doesn't... I need to make sure everything matches. And so does this lighting match with this lighting? And I feel it doesn't. I'll probably do that later. I gotta do the horizon here. So where am I right now? Yep, I changed the prices on some of that stuff. I did not because there's a lot of people with a lot of points, and so I had to balance it out a little bit. But the I didn't change the Michael takeover because I feel like that would be mean, so I did not change that one.
Talking about movies, though, you know, one thing from the Marvel universe to some of these mini-series to reading some of these longer books, when it comes to movies, I feel like an hour and a half just isn't enough time to tell a good story anymore. Like, movies...
Hour and a half?
Yeah, like, that's the standard length.
No, I think you still can, but it's like video games where they used to be able to tell a good story with just text on 2D platform. We've gotten built to want minute details, and that's what we've been getting. And so instead of selling one movie, they sell the same story, but then just add a bunch of filler to just give you more and then do it over 3 movies.
It just feels like a lot of these movies that are just one and done, the story always feels rushed to me anymore. I think it's just
because we just want more content. We want DLC. We're in a DLC universe now.
Maybe, but I feel like books were always longer than movies too, as far as like telling a larger story. They weren't constrained to like an hour and a half runtime. So I don't know. I think this is too far. Yeah, this is too bright. This is a tough one because this horizon's slightly angled, so I have to make it like that maybe. Yeah, that should work. No, Jules, that's I changed the stupid face and the voice impression, but I haven't touched the Michael takeover. You made it more expensive?
Yeah, I made him a bit more. Mainly because I originally had in my mind how points could be accumulated, and now that I know how there's way more methods than I thought, a lot of those prices made it so that if they could be overused, there's a limit on how many they can be used per. But a lot of it is I don't want to end up.
Inflation?
It would allow basically an entire stream to be completely consumed over and over and over again by nothing but that type of content. So I want to make sure that like
Because
there's.
that was what was happening. Because that kind of was what was happening. Sometimes you would get stupid face, and you'd have stupid faces to do before the stupid face you were finished working on was done.
An individual can only post one stupid face a stream.
Okay.
So, but I think, and then there's 6 maximum per stream, which is already quite a bit.
Yeah.
But if you put a limit on all that stuff, then it doesn't allow people to get rid of it, and then you have just huge accumulations. So I've been meaning to do like a community, because you can do on here a community challenge where it's just like pooling, and because you've been bringing up having like an entire Michael thing, and so I've like a Tuesday Michael stream, and have like where if people want to, they can contribute towards a pot, and then once that pot is filled, then Michael will have an entire stream or something like that, just to give people an outlet for stuff. So I've been considering doing that. Okay, yeah, so I definitely need more trees back here. This is not enough trees.
How is that not enough trees? We got like a orchard up in there.
Because if you look at some of these, I tried to fill it up because what I want to do, the whole point of trees isn't just because it's an orchard, it's to hide the horizon. And so I want to make sure that you cannot see too far. So the idea is put enough trees so that there is nothing visible anymore, or at least that there is no visible horizon. I'm kind of okay with not having like this. I'll put a little bit right there, just to give it a little bump. Problem is, then I'm going to start looking non-random, because if I just start placing trees to fill holes, then it's no longer random tree placement. It's planned tree placement. What is it doing?
It's in there doing stuff. I ignored it. I'm gonna
funny.
burn it after the stream's over.
But like, what, are you getting a message?
I turned the phone all the way down. I shouldn't be hearing it anymore.
No, did you turn the volume down or the ringer down?
The volume?
The volume and the ringer are not the same thing.
Why not?
Because that's not how the world works, Michael.
The world is wrong. Stop. I just want to go back to my pager.
Remember, like in Rick and Morty, when the dog like wakes up, and the Summer in the morning's like, "Where's my balls, Summer?" Like this is gonna be your phone. It's gonna wake. You can hear. You're like, it's like, Michael, where's my charging cable, Michael? You have not plugged me in, Michael.
I want you to die. No, my work gave me a phone and it's harassing me right now. I'm not the kind of person who ever really wanted a work phone. But here we are.
And if you ever think, oh, but it's not having a free phone, that'd be awesome. No. There's somebody at work was like, hey, what's your work phone number? And I'm like, I don't have a work cell. And the first thing they said was, how did you get lucky enough to get out of that one? Because all work cell means is, hey, we're going to call you on a Saturday.
Yeah. Basically, that phone exists so that if a customer calls me on my off hours, I have to answer. If that phone rings, I have to answer it.
I originally, at one of my jobs, I wanted to be able to get emails off or to my cell phone because when traveling and stuff, it would just be convenient. And they said, we can't give you a work phone, but we can get it to your personal phone. But then I would have to get an account, sign in and log in. I'd have to like put my password on my phone. I normally don't because I just don't care. I would have to give them my phone to install security software on it, and it was all the steps, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And they're like, well, that's why you don't have it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, your workplace has a lot more security than mine.
Oh yeah, well, no, that was my previous job.
Oh.
Technically, my job, depending on situation, I'm not even supposed to really even bring my phone in. I'm supposed to leave it in the car. So okay, so I think the only way to fully complete this is to like cover the horizon, but because even here, like, oh, it is. It's covered. I think it basically. Oh, you know what? Okay, it's filling. It's full.
I mean, it looks like it goes on forever. So
there is small little gaps, but as I get further away, those gaps get bigger and bigger, and I'm gonna guess that has to do with LOD. I think LOD is screwing me over, and I'm curious on that. So we're gonna do an experiment. This is foliage. This is probably gonna be, yep, it's not checked. We're gonna try this.
Look at you knowing all these buttons.
Restriction on those are intense, at least for prison. Yep, there it goes. Now look at it.
You got more green.
Yep, that was definitely what was causing it. I was trying to fill out these horizons in a lot of these shots, and now I feel like I probably didn't need to. Oh, you know what? Actually, it looks good like that. I'm gonna leave it. So that's why I was being so annoying. I didn't click until now. Well, so what that was doing is no level of detail. LOD is basically saying that with distance, it decreases the amount of detail that it has, which means when you save this, it will just save the texture that's there. If you have a level of detail on, it means that it will save multiple different versions that are smaller, more, but like smoother or less detailed, making it so that in a game, if things are very, very far away, you don't need to have this giant texture loaded for something that you can't even see. So the idea is the further it gets away, the smaller and smaller texture it loads until it gets down to the point of basically loading almost nothing. Or sometimes there will be a completely different texture that will be loaded, like trees will look big and bushy, and then as you get closer, the detail might pop in. When we were playing Sea of Thieves, that's one of the things you can see in the distance. If you're zooming in on an island from really, really far away, you see big, bushy, cheap land, and then as soon as you get closer, it'll pop in for all the detail stuff, because now it's considered that you are close enough to need it. Turning that off means, though, that it will take more processing on all the trees, but because I'm not worried about getting consistent FPS in a gameplay, I don't care that much. It's not going to save me on memory. It's not going to save me on memory is really the only limitation. Processing is not the issue. So
pretty longer render times, I imagine.
But most of the times, as long as a render isn't any longer than 8 hours.
Yeah.
And in 8 hours being any of these individual shots, not being 8 hours. And that is because if I render overnight. Mm-hmm. If I render overnight, that means if I start at like midnight and I get up at 8, that I have 8 hours of consistent render. But if say I start rendering here and it finishes right here, well, then I just quit the render, go about my business, and then when I restart it the next time, I start it right here and I go forward. Starting at midway, you can't do. There's issues with doing that. So, but yeah, so there is benefit in having LOD, but in gaming, not in general day-to-day use. Speaking of alcohol,
I was gonna wait another 5 minutes, but if you insist.
Hey, I got mine like over an hour ago.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The speed lines. The speed lines here. So these are actually a particle. This is right now just for reference. So these speed lines will not be there when I render it, only because, and I know I'm going to forget it and then I'm going to have to re-render crap, but only because being that they're an actual thing means that they're going to clip into the ground here. So as this camera is moving, it's actually interacting with objects. I do not want that. Instead, I am going to do it in post. So I'm going to look for an overlay, or I'm going to talk with Knightley about getting some kind of an overlay or something so that I can just put it in post. Then it's always clean, and I want it to look more anime. Right now, this isn't... It's useful, for sure, but it's just for reference right now. Okay, so... Now that I got those trees filled out, this like... Oh, actually... There is... Okay, this shot right here. She's coming down. Right here. I need to make sure that looks good from all angles. She is very, very bright here. Compared to... Oh, you know, the tractor was not lightened here, but I think... Yeah, I'm going to lighten the tractor a little bit. I think in the previous shot, it's at 50% increase. So this is 40% brighter. That seems a little bit more balanced. So she is very bright here, but I feel like I can probably get away with that. And so there's this balance you have to do of, okay, she's very bright, but how do I make her not very bright? And that is to dim her textures. But if I dim her textures, then just like I did with the tractor, it's going to make her on this side dimmer. The biggest problem with these is the way that these models are built, the light interacts with them different. And actually, let me check here. Is she bright all the way through here? No, she is not. Oh, no, her hat's blocking her. That's why.
Okay, I found out what my phone wanted. It had 3 ads for what to expect when you quit smoking.
Okay, well, usually,
then,
what were you doing at work?
I was working at work, but one ad for saying to stop using Viagra and try this instead.
You gonna try that?
I don't know whether that was, because I made it go away. But I'm sure it was invigorating. Whatever it was.
Okay, so I'm testing a couple things here. So I want to see. So when she comes through here, oh, she's in the shadow of the tree. Okay, yeah. So the sun's coming down here, and so it's hitting her like this. So she is the normal brightness, it's just that it's being blocked. So that is fine. So, oh no, you gotta be. Nope. That's. Gotta put Applejack back on their tractor. Well, it has nothing. I think Google with their targeted advertising thing is like, you don't want to have targeted ads? Okay, here you go. It's like, but no, I don't want those. Well, you said you didn't want targeted ones.
We're just going to throw everything at you.
It's soon going to be, if you don't want targeted ads, you're getting porn.
Yeah. I mean, that's the stuff that probably sells best to everybody. So, wouldn't surprise me.
Children?
No, like porn stuff.
You said everything. It sells to everybody.
Well, they'll probably advertise it to children.
No, they can't because they're not supposed to advertise to children.
What's the whole thing on the phones?
No, what was the name of that crap on YouTube before?
YouTube's the stuff.
Yeah, but they were the ones hit the hardest originally, and that's why I have to go through like a whole bunch of extra steps to like verify that I don't make content for children.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I've never minded targeted advertising because then I don't see advertisements for things that irritate me.
The issue isn't targeted advertisements; it's the fact that they collect the data on you to target you.
Yeah, I mean that's how targeted advertising works.
And so I don't like the data collection part of it.
I don't know what they could possibly do with it to hurt me. So, I don't mind it.
Because they can group you in with other groups of people that like similar things in your ads. And so they'll start advertising saying, well, if all these other people like you might like this stuff, which means some of the things that you like and enjoy, do you like them and enjoy them because you chose to, or because other people like you have liked similar things, so they're now trying to utilize their marketing knowledge to try to get you to now start doing something that you originally wouldn't have done.
And then you're afraid that you'll like it?
Well, no, it's more of they are dictating what I should like.
Yeah, but if I like it, then it's okay. Thank you for showing me.
These cigarettes are delicious. So yes, Michael is a tool.
I am fine with people showing me things that they think I might like.
Where's the horizon light with this? I think I've put that somewhere.
It's kind of like if I watched a movie and then Netflix likes, like, you liked this movie, maybe you also like this movie.
I know, but they're using the data from within their own platform to recommend content within their own platform.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different if you went to like Kohl's and you saw a pair of pants, and then when you went to Amazon, they now know that you were looking at pants on Kohl's.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah, but still don't bother me none.
That I don't like that.
Like now they're showing me more pants I might buy. They're not forcing me to buy it. If they're like stealing my credit card information and forcing me to buy stuff.
Okay with this because you look at all the pony stuff, and so they just advertise pony stuff, and that just means more pony stuff.
There's not enough pony stuff to advertise. The internet needs more pony stuff. To be fair, I don't think I'm going to buy any more of those statues, though. Those things are like $100 a piece. That's a bit much.
What else are you going to spend your money on? Retirement?
I mean, I am trying.
I know, but why would you when there's more horse to buy?
I can continue buying horses well into retirement. When we're on generation...
That does sound like
8.
a very Michael reason.
Yeah, when we're on generation 8, I'll need to buy those horses.
Copa, that was it, thank you. These cigarettes are delicious. Thank you, Edward. You're a true hero of the channel.
Oh, I have a lot of reasons for not caring too much for smoking.
Oh, it's this way. Yeah. Oh. I used to have a friend that smoked, or they used to do other types of smoking, and then they're like, it's not a problem, and then they started actually smoking, and then they got into cigarettes, and after his mom spent forever trying to quit, and she ended up quitting, but then but she got to watch her son start it. So
I watched it kill family members. I watched it I'm currently watching it kill family members, and it has done a significant amount of damage to myself just secondhand. So I don't. It's not a good habit.
Ooh, this is gonna be a tough one.
It's also expensive as all heck.
Okay, so this one is gonna be really, really hard to get down because I have a very, very wide area to cover with this one. So I think I'm gonna have to pick a point to kind of do it from. So I'm gonna do it from this one initially. Okay, so this is forward. Oh. Where am I?
I've definitely had like YouTube advertised stuff to me that I
YouTube
had
ads?
zero interest in.
Who gets YouTube ads?
Somebody pays for their like YouTube. What is it? YouTube Red?
No, it used to be Red. Now it's
Red.
YouTube Premium. Yeah, I pay for YouTube Premium because being a creator,
Fancy.
I don't like ads, and I use an ad blocker. But in doing so, if you're using an ad blocker, you're preventing the ads from showing. Therefore, you're taking ad revenue away, and I felt like it was being hypocritical. So instead, I now pay for YouTube Premium, so I get no ads. But I still money goes to the creator.
Could have just watched the ads. It's like no.
Used to do. Well, the couple reasons now. I used to just let music playlists go, but then it would pop up with an ad every now and then. And when you're trying to really focus, though, you can always like go to YouTube, right click. For those that don't know, we can't get rid of that one.
No.
I didn't. So like, if I just like this one, you can right click anywhere and just go loop. So you do that, and then there's no ads. It's just replaying the same video.
You do just recommend your own channel to you?
I'm on the Arrow Zone.
Oh, okay.
Because I have a couple accounts.
Are you on this channel watching your own videos?
Well, how do you think I have
views?
How do you think I have so many views, man?
Yeah, and the secret's out. Nobody watches your videos. You just have them on loop.
But yeah, so that, and I like YouTube Music. I use it quite often, and I believe you can use it without. But I think it might be a premium only thing. But it's a less. The way it recommends stuff and everything, and the way you can do channels for music is actually pretty nifty. So it's basically my Spotify. That, and I thought there was some other benefit to it. Oh, I ended up getting a free 6 months of Stadia, and
I don't know what that is.
Stadia is the video game streaming thing from Google, which is neat. You get to try it for free, but it wasn't just Stadia. It was the controller, and I don't know. Do I have it over here? I think I put in the other thing, but it also came with the Google. Basically, came with this thing. Came with a Chromecast, but it was the 4K one. So I didn't get it because I wanted Stadia, but it came with a 4K Chromecast for free. So. Voila. But you had to have premium prior to when they announced it. So it wasn't like you could just sign up suddenly and get it for free.
It was more of a loyalty reward.
They were trying to get people into Stadia. And I tried it.
Meh.
The latency was lower than I thought it would be. And actually the picture wasn't bad, but the color depth was horrible. It felt so washed out. And I was playing Risk of Rain 2, which is normally a pretty color pop game, and it just didn't. It felt missing to me. If I was on a TV where you could kind of play with the colors or something, maybe, but nah. But if for right now, if it's a situation where you don't have a graphics card and you're in a situation where you just can't do what you actually want to do, it's not a bad option.
Yeah, I can see that.
I've heard NVIDIA Shield works slightly better, but it's an option that you can jump to right now in the short term.
If you have a PC that can't really run the newer games, you can use that instead.
I think this needs to be further away. I think that's my problem here.
I barely have time for a whole lot of video games as is, though. Seems like it anymore. The streams are when I play the vast majority of video games.
What do you do otherwise?
A nap. I'm an old man.
That seemed like the answer I should have expected, actually.
Yeah. No, I've been learning Blender a little bit recently.
Yeah, but that's only in the very short term.
Well, yeah,
There's plenty of days where,
I've had
when you got Subnautica. In 3 days, how many hours did you put in?
Oh, I burned through that game. I probably put, in the 3 days I had it, I probably put 54 hours in it, and I finished it.
No time for video games, right?
That's different.
How is it different?
I did nothing but for 3 days.
That seems worse.
Done, and then I went back to not playing video games. Except for a bit of that pirate game. That game's fun. I was at work today just saying, "You are a pirate, yar har diddly," it's
shouldn't be diddling at work.
I diddle all the time at work. Good pirate's life for me, man.
Oh, there's floating grass. Oh, that's behind the tractor. It's fine. So this is actually gonna take a couple of these. These are not shadowed, right? Yeah. So Michael, what is your current go-to games right now?
the one game I will.
Besides our Sunday stream games.
The one game I always fall back on when I can't think of anything else to play is Civ 5, because I find that game relaxing. But mostly I like the game for social reasons. So if you guys are all playing that dwarf game, Deep Rock, that's how I like that game. But mostly only because it involves social stuff. But if it's just me, and I'm just wanting to relax and turn my brain off for like the next 3 hours or something, it's Civ 5.
Yeah, my games right now, I have a couple I've been playing recently. So me and Mitch were playing Sea of Thieves, and then Michael joined in before, because there's no progress in that game. So some games we lock to stream so we don't like go too far ahead. That is a game that doesn't matter.
I very much want to tag people in that game.
I want to get it to where we're better at the game and we know more about it, and then
No, that's not as much fun though. I want to like see a ship full. We just have a ship filled with people who just started 5 minutes ago, and our first objective is to ram into somebody and explode.
The thing is I got to think of it from reverse, and I don't want to be an asshole to somebody that is just trying to play. Like, so I'm trying to
game.
Well,
You're
the game to be an asshole.
It's your pirates. Pirates are history's assholes. Am I wrong? No.
No, I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that pirates take exception to that. But
pirates aren't real, so it's fine.
But I've been playing a lot of Trials of Fire. That one, it's a roguelite tactical RPG. How many call it an RPG? It's a roguelike tactical combat game, but it's there's something about it that's just super fun. Yeah, we've been playing Dwarf, Deep Rock Galactic. We played it like long time ago, and then we've been coming back into playing it because Kyle's back in town and is playing it now too.
I think it's fair to say we've probably explored that game to its fullest at this point, but it is still pretty fun.
Well, there's still stuff to unlock. Giz is the one that doesn't have anything left.
Yeah, I mean,
because he's played it a little bit longer. Do you know how to get all the achievements in the game?
I don't even care to find out.
The achievements are to get every one of the dwarfs to gold ranking, which means that you have to promote every one of your dwarfs 6 times. Yes. 6 or 7 times, I think, to get there. That's no. Samurai
never cared that much for achievements.
Somali pirates like a word. What games are other people playing? Like for who's in here, what are you guys playing?
I saw somebody mention Subnautica, and I will say, as far as Subnautica is concerned, play the first one first.
Well, that would make sense when it's like a game with sequels.
Well, there's like, between the two, I think the first one was a little bit better of a game.
Well, because it's a unique and different experience compared to now it's the same thing again.
Yeah. I just wouldn't start with the second. So.
You finished your first playthrough of Fallout New Vegas. Oh wow, that's a timeless game. Well, have you played? I'm guessing that if you played it recently, you probably got the pack with all the DLCs. Have you played any of the DLCs yet? That is a game that has some good DLCs and some not so good DLCs. The Crater was a fantastic DLC.
New World Blues, I think is that one.
Yeah, New World Blues. But then the one in Zion, as a DLC, no, but I have been to Zion and I love Zion National Park, and so it was really cool to like see it on there. So
New World Blues was good, and the casino one was okay, but New World Blues is definitely the best one.
Bullets Per Minute, was that the game that you do? It's like a super fast-paced shooter, but it's like goes with the music or something. Because I remember seeing something about that, and it looked really interesting.
Anytime there's a video game that's designed around its music, that's always a good video game. Like,
well, no, you can make a bad version of that, but it's going to give it a good push.
It's going to give it a good pace. It's going to.
No, it's going to give it. It's going to make it so that everything you do feels awesome.
Yeah.
But you can mess that up.
Sure. Also, people play.
Tabla VR. That sounds nauseating.
I did get Little Nightmares recently for free on Steam.
Star Wars: The Old Republic, weren't you? You were playing. Warhorse mentioned something about you guys were going to play that the other day. Minecraft, Mario, Sonic, Skylanders, Smash Brothers, Ultimate. Geez, you've got a lot of games you're playing. My type of games are, I like open world and I like roguelikes. So that tends to be like Sea of Thieves. The reason I like that is that you can just jump into it. It's a big open world and kind of do whatever. And then I just love roguelikes because I like games that are like feels like I can jump into it, play it, and then be done with it shortly afterwards, but then not feel like I'm done with the game. It's like I'm because I used to do a lot of free to play games, and so it feels more like the high that I got from that, but where you're getting a nice short burst of stuff, but then you feel like you can just quit and move on with something else afterwards.
Honest Hearts was the last one, right? That's the one in Zion.
Okay, yeah, I don't know the names of them.
I would say Honest Hearts was probably the weakest DLC, but it kind of wrapped up the original story for New Vegas, because New Vegas talked about a lot of the stuff that happens in Honest Hearts. Honest Hearts, while it might have been the weakest DLC, it was a DLC that needed to happen.
I had never I started Zion, but I never finished it. So my experience in there was, I think to me it was just that, like, I loved post-apocalyptic environments, and that didn't have that. It felt like you were just in a national park. It felt like a whole different type of game to me. Yeah, and story-wise, it can definitely, if it makes sense, it makes sense. It just didn't jive with what I was looking for.
I think Honest Hearts was a DLC that was planned from the original conception of Fallout New Vegas, and it was always basically planned to be the last DLC. It might not have been the strongest one, but it helped to wrap things up, essentially, as far as the overarching New Vegas story was concerned. But yeah, it wasn't the best DLC. That goes to New World Blues for sure.
Oh yeah, New World Blues was post-apocalyptic. Oh no,
the big empty and everything. That was
no the one with the casino.
The casino was my second favorite.
I don't know. The casino to me was, well, I mean, there was the tie-in to how much of it was referenced in Fallout Equestria that really tied that one for me. But it was so different. I mean, it kind of sucked that it broke. You're trying to build up all this stuff over time, and then suddenly they take it all away. That kind of sucked. But it was so, it felt like BioShock for a while there. Like, it was just so different. And I like different.
It definitely freaked me out the first time I played it. And you shoot the enemies like
It's phone make more noise.
The enemies that you shoot and they come back to life if you don't blow their heads off. That freaked me out the first time, because I'm like, okay, I killed him, and then he'd get back up and start attacking you again. You'd be like, that's not what the baddies are supposed to do.
I killed you, ha 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 ha. I'm in danger.
Yes, because the first time I played that, I didn't know you had to shoot them in the head or take their heads off.
Well, you learn that by them getting up again. Yeah, it's a trial and error mechanic, which is awesome. It's you get really confused and you scared because you're like, wait, you're dead, and then they're not dead.
Overall, New Vegas was a good game. I hope when they do release Fallout 5, they take some pointers from New Vegas.
It'll be a while.
Yeah.
Because they've made up a lot of Fallout games, and they haven't made many Skyrim or like Elder Scrolls games. Elder Scrolls is going to be the next one.
They've been doing Elder Scrolls Online. Is what they've been putting on their game.
Yeah, but they're going to make another one. What they need actually is was it with Skyfield or something?
Skyfield?
They were working on a space game. And then, but it's kept getting pushed off, as far as I can tell.
The last two games they released were Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online, that's so cute. Which was both focused on like an MMO kind of environment.
Starfield. It's a game that they're working on.
Didn't Bethesda get bought up by Microsoft, though? That's my only major concern.
Yep, and they immediately said afterwards, they're like, don't worry about it. We're not going to do any exclusives on Microsoft. And then, within about 2 months, they're like, yeah, we're doing exclusives. It does, but the benefit of being a PC gamer is Microsoft is a very heavy PC environment now, so you're not going to lose out.
It is kind of weird for Microsoft to only do exclusives when the other platform is Windows.
No, the PC is where they're moving into a lot more.
Okay.
PlayStation is where you would kind of get screwed on it, but in terms of content, PlayStation has the better exclusives. So if I had to buy a console, I would buy a PlayStation, not an Xbox.
And the only console I bought is a Switch.
But I think it's because as a PC gamer, everything that's an Xbox I can get on PC for the most part. PlayStation would be the one to actually get different content. Sorry, I'm going to catch up with chat here. Casino is a terrifying experience for me. Yes, I know that for sure. The new Sonic game will have an open world gameplay and be inspired by Breath of the Wild. Well, it's hard to say something would be inspired by Breath of the Wild because, like, the game took a lot of things from other things too. It just was surprising how well it ran on a Switch. That was what surprised me. It's a Switch. That thing, like, I play anything else on it, and it's like super low tech or trying to dumb it down to make it work on the content. And then you get Breath of the Wild that looks fantastic for how it's surprising. Best DLC is Dead Money. Yeah, I was saying that too.
That's my
Zion National Park is about 1 hour and 5 minutes away from where I live, depending on traffic. Yeah, we went a couple of years ago. Me, my dad, and my sister went and did like a road trip through a lot of Utah, seeing national parks. And so I saw Bryce, Goblin. What was the name of that one?
Goblin got all messed up, didn't it?
It's Arches. What was the one I'm trying to think of? But we went through we went through like 15 parks. Zion was my favorite. But when we got there, it was raining really, really, really hard. And it looked like, so there was water spilling out from everywhere. It looked like Jurassic Park. And it was fantastic. So I loved it because it was raining. Then the next day we came back in there and did some walking through. I want to go back there sometime and walk the Narrows. But yeah, Zion was one of my favorites. So it always left a memory of good times. There's going to be a Fallout 5. Yeah, there's going to be a Fallout 5. It's money.
Eventually, yeah. It'll come around eventually. To my understanding, a bunch of the natural formations in Goblin Park got destroyed by a Boy Scout troop and their scout leader. But you can look that up on the internet.
You know what? I can actually find pictures.
They knocked a bunch of them over. I remember being pretty big in the news and then being like, we didn't think about it. It's like,
oh god, that was 10 years ago.
Don't tell me times anymore. I'm getting old. And things that happened 10 years ago feel like they happened like a year ago.
God, that was way longer ago than I thought it was going to be. This was when I was using some crappy as hell digital camera too.
Well, it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, now, like, when we traveled, I was going to bring this camera because you can get, I wanted to actually get a good wide angle camera lens for it, but these aren't bad pictures, but I wanted to find the ones from Zion though. Oh, here we go. So this was, so I believe this was Zion.
It is pretty. There's no denying that.
So this is like one of the park locations. One of these you can see. This is one of my favorite pictures. There's one of them that you can actually see. My sister. Yeah, my sister's standing right there. But this canyon with the fog going through is so cool. These are the Finger Canyons. Oh yeah, so this is when we went back there the next day, and it was running fine. But it was when it was like super, super foggy. I don't think I took many pictures when it was raining. There's Buffalo. No, I think
it's a blurfalo.
The blurfalo?
He blurred.
You had it in your head, and when you try to say it, you're like, whoa.
He's a blurfalo.
There's just like some random desert that was in the middle of nowhere. I have some of that sand upstairs, which I'm pretty sure is illegal.
Still in San
Francisco. Because they actually, a lot of those places, there's some beaches that if you take the sand from it, it's like a $10,000 fine. Because that's the problem. People take it and then they have none left.
Yeah.
They have to import sand, which is so weird.
Yeah, I mean that sand probably takes hundreds of years to accumulate.
Oh, yeah.
So
For sure. So yeah, I want to walk the Narrows, but this is what the river looked like, and it just was not. But this is what the Zion looked like. It was gorgeous. It was so pretty. Narrows you can normally walk through it when the water's low, but it was way too high at that point. We also so we went to Bryce, but it was snowing. Mm-hmm. So I took a picture of the catalog that came with it and said, "Here, we went here." It was snowing. The next day we went. So this is what it looked like one day.
yeah,
And then we went back the next day. Oh no, we went to the bottom of the mountain and it was 75. So like the elevation was so crazy.
it's like an old cabin.
Yeah, we went back the next day and it was 70 there. Like it was 40 degrees difference. It was crazy. The elevation stuff is crazy. Bryce,
crazy swing.
you could walk down in those. We ended up walking down in there. Birdie.
No, I'm just like enjoying like the old man going through his vacation photos moment.
This was back when I took pictures of everything, and now I would take much better pictures. I basically just snapped everything. But yeah, it was just freaking snowing in the middle of. We went to the where's my picture of the north? We went to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and I took a picture of it.
I had a chance to go there once, and I completely backed out.
We went to the south rim. We saw that.
Mm-hmm.
It was the north. Actually, you know, the Grand Canyon.
It's a big hole.
It's not that exciting.
It's a hole.
I'm not gonna find it. It's in there somewhere. So, it's like the contrast there. The Grand Canyon is a giant hole that is so far and so long that you could just buy a picture of it and look at it, and that is no different than what you're going to see when you're there. Unless you go walking through it or something, experiencing it doesn't feel like much because as you move, it doesn't feel three-dimensional. It's too big. That's what I liked about Zion and Goblin. Goblin, you can walk into it because it's just these big bubbling rocks. And Zion, you're in the canyon.
I feel like after what happened with Goblin, they're probably more restrictive on who can walk into it.
But my profile picture on Facebook has been like a picture of me on one of the rocks and Goblin with my hands in the air. It's like, yay! I've just kept that for a while. I think I just have to add a couple more trees.
I'm trying to think. Like, I'm not super big on landmarks. Like, seeing landmarks. When I go to a place, I like to go there to see people. And the landmarks are just a bonus. I have no interest in seeing Mount Rushmore. I've thought about that before.
I've been to Mount Rushmore, but that also, you never get anywhere near Mount Rushmore. So
they don't want people messing with it.
You get to be like a mile from it.
Yeah.
And you're sitting down this like look, you can see it. That's awesome. Great. I take a picture and it looks exactly like the catalogs because there's nothing, you can't get anywhere near close enough. So
I think the closest thing I would kind of like to see, and I feel like I would need to go a little bit further north to see it, or on the right day or something, is the Aurora Borealis. I've never seen the Aurora Borealis.
I've seen it.
I want to see it
in Minnesota every now and then. It's every couple of years we'll have one because we're far enough north.
But I kind of want to see it like. Where is it that it's a complete, like, a light preserve, where there's no light?
It's not about being where there's no light. It's about being far enough north.
Yeah.
So you have to just go north.
Yeah.
Well, I've been I saw it outside of Target. I was literally in the Target parking lot. All the lights everywhere, and I could see it. So it just depends. You just
want to see that.
Like, if we're on a low... I'm going to find the picture of Goblin, because you asked about that. It was the last thing we did, if I remember right.
And this is probably kind of insane, but I would like to go to
this is Goblin.
City that's getting ready to get hit by a hurricane.
So all these rocks just look like little mushrooms.
Yeah.
And they're like, these things are taller than me. So these are big rocks. And we were there when the sun was low like this, and so it just made everything glow orange. And with these harsh shadows, it's really, really cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up something.
That was really, really cool. That one. That was a stitch that kind of messed up because that definitely looks weird. And I think that was Grand Canyon. I took a bunch of like panoramics and then used post-processing stuff to do stitching, and so this is a stitch one all the way across, so you can get, I think, pretty zoomed in on that one. Quite a bit. Yeah, the goblin is just big bubble rocks. Some scout troops or some group went in there and they basically vandalized it, and they
destroyed a lot of it.
Yeah, they think they did a lot of damage, and they basically removed the nature part of it, and I can't remember the full extent of it, but they did some heavy damage, and I'm hoping that they were fined very, very, very heavily for it.
I mean, they were a bunch of kids, so how much could you really fine them? And one scoutmaster. It was just a irresponsible man.
That scoutmaster had the responsibility for who was there.
No, he was encouraging them to destroy them.
Oh yeah, then he will take responsibility for everything they did.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's just no amount of money will ever repair what the damage that they did.
Nope, but you can make them suffer. That's how America works. If somebody wrongs you, wrong them back. That is the American way. Sadly.
Nah, it's just unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Give it enough time and everything's going to be that way. It's either going to be destroyed or industrialized. Because money will win out in the end.
Well, it's either going to be destroyed, or they're going to have to keep people away from it so they don't like damage it after a time. It's probably why they keep people away from Mount Rushmore.
Well, then if you got anywhere close enough to even shoot a gun at it, somebody's going to eventually just whittle away at it.
Yeah. Then again, Mount Rushmore is not a... That didn't take millions of years to form, so it wouldn't be as big of a loss.
No, but it did cost a lot of money.
It did.
But
they could make another one if they really wanted to.
No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't, but they could.
Okay, this is this wheel is very, so like I'm watching in here, so it's spinning, but then it's turning this way, which I think is turning. Yeah, it is turning that way, but then it suddenly turns back to the right. But why? So I'm gonna see if we can. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. This wheel's already kind of broken.
You can't really even. Oh, why is it at such an angle? Oh, you're just having it sweep back and forth.
Because she turns. So I need to have it adjust to that new angle. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay, I think that shot is basically... Wait, let me check here. That's a little empty. There's a hill there. We'll at least give that. The beach can be cleaned in one winter or vanishes rapidly. I heard like importing sand for beaches is one of the like biggest reasons for sand, which is so weird.
Like glass.
I had a crappy digital camera and still managed to get good pics out of it. Oh yeah, you don't have to have a good camera. If you have a good camera, you can definitely... What I feel like a good camera does is you can take really good pictures, but if you have a good camera, you allow yourself a lot of options for editing and post. Because if you take a picture in RAW format, it actually holds a lot more information that's outside of even what you might see, meaning that sometimes you can drop its exposure or increase it and change the contrast to like nail in what you're looking for a lot easier. Where if you just take it where it's flat and just on its own, you can make it look good, but then you're not going to really be able to poke with it much. So a good camera is about giving you the ability to manipulate it more. Or those ones that will take a picture, I think most phones do this now, where it's a high exposure, low exposure, and then it just fills in the areas that were like too dark with the low, like the one, and so it tries to balance it out so that you get a much more balanced fake shot, but looks nicer.
There's some professional photographers still use film.
Some people just like
that.
Some people like film because there's an infinite amount of detail depending on the quality of the film you're using.
Yeah.
Utah's kind of unique for one of the only states to have red rock and sand because of iron content. Yeah, no, it's very pretty. I like those colors. Orange is one of my favorite colors. Grand Canyon is on my bucket list. I want to walk up to the edge, look down and say, yep, big hole. Yep, that's exactly what it is. But then it just doesn't, you don't feel the scale of it because it's so big that, like, being able to walk 10 feet and see the parallax for things gives you a perception of how big things are. But it's so big across that you'd have to drive a mile to really see it. And at that point, it's just like a picture. So,
I mean, I think the main reason to go to the Grand Canyon is to be able to say you took a whiz into the Grand Canyon.
But then if everybody did that and they just filled the Grand Canyon with piss,
that would be amazing. It's a giant piss canyon.
Piss. Okay, that's a phrase I never thought I'd hear on the stream. Piss canyon.
Like, what other reason would you go, though?
Yeah, I went to the Grand Canyon when I was 7 or 8. All I remember is the public toilet there.
It's called the Grand Canyon.
Sure.
I have plans in life.
Okay. So what happened to Gama? Yeah, I mentioned that one. Oh, there's a Standing Rocks here in New Mexico as a kid. It was amazing seeing it a couple of years ago. All the stones are covered in graffiti, broken alcohol bottles, and trash everywhere. Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things. I think this one I can call done because there's really nothing I can do more in this shot. Like there's no cleanup that I need to do or anything. So I think we can call that one. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. There we go. It's green. I got a Canon a couple years back on sale. But yeah, there's actually phones nowadays will take pretty good pictures. The main thing with to me with pictures are if you want good nature shots, it's about having a good wide angle lens that has a really good a really large aperture setting.
Well, that new phone I got from work over there has 3 lenses on it.
Ooh.
It is fancy. I imagine
it's a phone.
I imagine it takes pretty good pictures, though, if it goes so far as to have 3 lenses.
It has a lot of those so like on a camera like this. So on this camera, I'm not just using the stock lens for it. It came with I think it's a 1645 millimeter or something like that, or a 1660 millimeter lens, but that only hits at I think 3.5 on the aperture at the lowest end. I ended up getting not a Sennheiser, that's audio. I can't remember the company surfing the nest though, but I ended up getting a 30 millimeter, so it's a wider, not as wide as potentially the one that came stock was, but I can open up the aperture to 1.4. 1.4 means that I can put it really, really wide, which means, like in this instance, like for Michael, if I open it up wider, make him really, really bright. But if I go into focus, then it's going to make him really blurry.
We're very blight. You're blight.
No, I don't want to do that. Okay. I think that's where it was. So the point of it is that you can open it up wider. It creates a nice bokeh effect or a blurry background, but by bringing in more natural light, and for big wide open shots like that, you can decrease the ISO and you get a much clearer, crisper image. So you can get a lot better color and everything. So, but then for close-up images, doing that usually going to cause a very, very strong blurred background. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But those lenses tend to cost a little bit more. So that's why I think this is a $300 lens. But the reason for it was I could open it wider. Right now, I think it's at like, 3 or 2.5. So it just makes it so everything's better quality overall. If everyone who's in the Grand Canyon would probably get into the Colorado River and cause a health and environmental disaster. That sounds like what Michael's trying to go for. Film has both advantages and disadvantages. I could always get better pictures with good film than I could with digital, but I have very little control over the final picture once I hit the shutter button. Yeah. Well, yeah. Because the idea, I think as long as you go into the middle ground, usually you can play with it a little bit. But if it's a little over or a little under, as soon as you hit overexposure or underexposure, it's lost data. The nice thing with a good digital camera or DSLR is that it will kind of cover a much larger range on both ends. There's been actually, I can open up a Premiere and kind of give you an example of stuff, but there's only so much data you can pull out of stuff. And like, I had a recent thing that I recorded for supporters that was, I felt like actually I exposed it a little bit heavy, and I should have actually backed it off because I thought I would put it bright enough for good. But what I should have done was decreased it to be in the middle and not being bright where I wanted it. And then done that in post. But the nice thing is you can still recover it. So I did this video recently, going through box stuff, but this is what it looks like with editing. This is without. So like normally, this would have been like blown out in a normal camera. I wouldn't have been able to recover it. But with some of the editing, I was actually able to recover some of that data and bring it back down to a normal level. So like I play with a lot of these values to try to get it back down to look decent. So that's where having a nice camera comes in handy, is where you can actually recover some of that missing data. I should have rendered this I should have decreased the brightness, and then just boosted it in post, but I'm still learning. So
Guys, those plants behind them, they're not real.
no, they're not. They're old. They're kind of dusty too. I haven't watered them in 10 years.
I water them every day. Well, that explains the puddles on the floor.
All the mold in the corners.
Yes. I do remember a story of some poor old lady who apparently was watering a plant for like 10 years, and then somebody finally told her it was plastic. It's so sad.
That sounds like dementia.
Probably.
Like, that leaf hasn't fell for years. I have such a green thumb.
She's so good. Took very good care of that plant.
Well, no, I will say, yeah, okay. She probably did take really good care of it.
Mm.
But that's not what the plant needed. It didn't need anything.
It needed love. Even plastic plants need love. Everything needs love.
Okay, so I think I do need a secondary.
Be like the Velveteen Rabbit. If you just like believe it's a real plant, it'll become a real plant. While all the other plants burn in the fire. Because that's what happened in that movie / book. Book's depressing.
I'll make sure the lighting's right on here, but I feel like I do have to have a little bit of secondary light coming in from the side. But this right now, camera's coming here, so this is correct. For hitting her from this side. So these lenses, I'm gonna have to balance out some of these, where it decrease the lens brightness and whatever, so that it doesn't glow like that. Because there's not much I can actually do to prevent that, without just telling the engine to like make it 70% as bright of a color or something. A good nature shots requires being in nature where the animals aren't going to be afraid of you. Yeah, that's actually where a lot of good nature shots come with, like people with super high zoom lenses, because then you can be like 500 yards away and take a good picture. But then you need some really fancy equipment, or you just need to like have a trained animal that you just like, yeah, this is nature. Yay.
I have a better idea. You go out in nature, you like bait some traps and fill the traps with like drugs for the animals. You get them all drugged up, and then they're not afraid of you anymore.
Like what kind of drugs do animals take?
Well, any drug you put into the meat. Like you can give them just get them all hopped up on opioids. Fine. I think this is a good idea. Drugged up tigers and stuff. Nothing could possibly go wrong. It's like, what drug did you give that tiger? Oh, I gave it speed. It's like, that's not good. Be fine.
Or it's either bad or fantastic.
Either way, you're gonna get some really good pictures.
That's all that matters, right?
That's all.
As long as you gain Instagram followers.
Yes. It's okay if a hopped up tiger is like roaming around. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Thought it was on the left side. Or I thought it was on the right side, but I'm actually on the left. So I'm trying to figure out the best angle to go here. Probably can get a little. Well, I can't get too close because she's spinning. So I need to make sure. Actually, this is like also where I can see the grass here. I might need to put some trees back there. But I have a feeling that's gonna be one I'm kind of like. I'll probably just do it now.
I feel like if I had a plastic plant, I'd still find a way to kill it.
I burned the house down.
The plants are dead. They melted.
It happens.
I'll tell you, my parents used to have this dancing Christmas tree. And it looked like a regular tree. And then you got close to it and its eyes would open and it would start dancing and singing. I wanted that plant to die. That was awful.
But it wanted to live.
Well, it shouldn't have sang.
As soon as trees start singing, they relinquish their right to live.
That's right. You can't trust singing trees. Ain't natural.
Okay, I think I'm gonna call that one. Well, no. I need to put. Where's this one going? This one's really far away too. This one I don't need. So I'm gonna take a new light. The same color. There's no color on this one. Never mind. And we're going into disable shadows. Make much wider. Decreases brightness by a lot. We're gonna jam this underneath. Because I don't want like super harsh shadows. I don't want to have a very dark under chin or anything. I want to have it balanced. I want to have it darker,
Well, no.
for sure, but light's going to bounce. And so I need to have it looking. Say it ain't natural in Granny Smith's voice.
It ain't natural. Them trees be talking and telling us not to kick 'em. We've been kicking those trees for 5 generations, and they ain't complained once. Except this one time, one of the trees said, "Stop, please. I'm not a tree. Stop kicking me." But I knew better, and I kept kicking that tree till it stopped talking. And now that tree don't talk no more. And
It was the same day your daddy left.
yeah. that same day we found your parents dead in the orchard.
Somebody beat him.
So, I think it was the tree, but I got that tree.
Your new headcanon.
Yes. Granny Smith just kicked him to death. It's fine. Stop them trees.
Get a labradoodle, give it a line, cut, take pictures, tell people you went on a safari. Well, yeah, it would definitely be adorable. That is how you get a deer high on amphetamines to kill you. That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a good weekend. Stupid fact, I was a member of a man-at-arms in a photography club for years. Never owned a camera during that entire time. But yeah, I was big into photography for a while, but all I had, because I had no money, was I found in the clearance aisle of a Walmart, it was like a $50 digital camera, and I think it was like 1.4 megapixel. It was such crap. And I ended up later buying a nicer camera. I think it was like 8 megapixel, but it was still very much a super cheap digital camera. The one I'm using for now is pretty good. But to me, it's not the camera that makes good images, it's the lens. As long as you have a camera that can do certain or has some of the features that you want, the lens is really the part that sells it the most. So if you get a camera that has a lot of universal light like lens setups, and then just get some universal lenses, you can always upgrade your camera at some point. But that lens, to me, like at least for this camera, the camera or the lens was half the price of the camera. So like it was in a more expensive lens, but if I go and put the other lens on this and I already use that lens, it is significantly different. You can tell the difference in quality. So as long as you get a decent lens, I feel like you're fine. But lenses can get expensive. You can spend thousands of dollars on a single lens. It really depends on what you want to do. This one, the reason it was actually fairly cheap, I mean it's a $300 lens, but it's fairly cheap compared to some, is because it doesn't have any zoom function. It's if you start adding zoom and a lot of the other features, then it gets very expensive. But yeah, it's and I do want to, because this is a 30 millimeter, I do want to get like a good 16 that's about 1.6 aperture, like the good, really good wide angle ones. I think it was 16. Yeah. I want to get that for like when we go on trips and stuff. That would be a me purchase on the side, but I do want to get something like that. I don't really need something for zoom. I like nature shots. I like the big open shots. I don't need like zoom in stuff. I got a 50 to 200 SLR zoom at a secondhand store for like $10. 6 months later, I found a camera that would fit. Actually, you know what? I never really thought about that. Like, what do you mean by secondhand store? Was it like just a pawn shop? Because I now that you think about it, because this camera uses a pretty standard bit, I might try that.
There are quite a few pawn shops in the area. I was thinking of buying a Switch from one, and there's quite a few around.
Well, yeah, I used to go pawn shop hunting for CDs back when CDs mattered, because you could go to like. So like say a new CD came out on a Tuesday, go to a pawn shop like Thursday, and so like a CD just came out on Tuesday, you spend $15 to buy new. Somebody would buy that CD, and then they would go to a pawn shop with it after ripping it out of their computer and sell it back to make a bit of money back on it. And so if you went there just a couple days afterwards, you'd sometimes find this brand new CD that was just put on the shelf in the morning. And so then I would walk away with a CD that costs me like $2-3 instead of 15. And I got all the brand new music.
I mean, that makes sense. Like,
it's all a gamble.
Doing that.
I bought a lot of CDs from those places. I bought some DVDs from those. Not so much anymore, because with streaming and everything, like I can spend as much to rent it as it is to watch it. And yeah, you don't own it, but I'm never going to probably watch it again anyway. So whatever. But I've been meaning to go to like, there's a pawn shop nearby. It's not a Pawn America. It's just an individual place, but it's huge. And I need to go back there again, because every now and then you find something nice. I needed mixing bowls. And and you can go buy like a new set for like $20-30 somewhere. There's a whole set. Instead, I just went to a pawn shop, paid $1.50, got a full set of used mixing bowls. They work perfectly fine, so saved a lot of money on it. Pawn shops are awesome. This is going to be interesting. Let me get the lights at least moved over here. I haven't moved Sweetie Belle into these shots yet because she's going to take a little time. Oops. To get over, because there's a lot of motion with all the swinging. For anybody that was here last time, I had to go through a whole process to figure out how to even have her swing that way, because her pelvis is the anchor point, but now I had to do her anchor point of the front hooves, and it doesn't work that way. Because if an anchor point means that if everything bends, it's bending from the anchor point around, but her now hooves are the anchor point. So how do I bend it when it's pivoted here, but locked here? So I found a way to do that, but it takes a little bit to set up. So, I think I just heard Mike belch from all the way upstairs. He's in a thrift shop. Okay. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to go to one of those sometime and see what they have for lenses and stuff. Did you just belch all the way upstairs and I heard you down here? Oh, yeah, I heard it. The stream was like, oh my god.
They're like, is there a monster about?
No, they didn't hear it.
Please.
Protect us, Derpy. From the monster.
Protect Derpy.
No. You're the aggressor.
Oh no. Well, fair enough. That's fair enough. I would try
Aggressive
to steal,
boops.
I would try to steal the derps. I'll admit it.
Steal the boops.
I will steal the boops as well. You know the better place to get pots and pans and stuff? And mixing bowls? Yard sales.
That's going a step down from pawn shop, and
Yeah.
that is saying something.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, maybe they made meth in that.
Yeah, but that's alright. Wash it out. It's fine. I got...
Wash the meth out.
Until I was an adult, I think 100% of my clothing came from yard sales. Like my mom was huge on yard sales. She was
Well, my mom was too. But we were a family of 4 that didn't have much money, which
Yeah,
is probably the
same.
same situation you were in.
Yeah. Like everything. The video game consoles we got, we didn't get them until they were like 5 years old. And they were from yard sales.
But most consoles, their life is over 5 years old.
Yeah.
Like, how long was the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One a thing? I think,
Wow.
yeah, it was long enough.
I mean, my first console was a Nintendo, and I got that in, I think, 91. So I think the Super Nintendo was already out by that point, but that's when we got the Nintendo. Because the Super Nintendo came out and everybody was getting rid of their Nintendo. So that's when I got it.
Yeah, I think that was the only console that we ever got new. We got the Atari and the Nintendo, and then after that, we never. It was until PlayStation 1 was over halfway through its life that I finally bought my own console with my own money, because I had a job and I could afford it and I really wanted it. So I bought my damn
The
PlayStation.
first console I bought with my own money was the Nintendo Switch. That is
And when did you buy that?
a few months ago.
You mean a Wii?
Yes, a Wii.
We made fun of him because he like literally over and over again, every time we were playing Monster Hunter, he would keep calling the Switch a Wii. Like, he would just say, like, oh, I'll go turn on the Wii, and then we'd be like, Michael, it's a Switch. He's like, oh yeah. But it was just over and over again. It was hilarious.
It's Nintendo.
It was Nintendo, and to him, that was a Wii.
That's the newest one.
Because his brain is at least like 30 years behind.
It's working on it.
You catch up one day.
I got the Switch, and I think the video game I've played the most on that is Super Mario Bros. 3.
I know,
So-
it's funny because we have a lot of time in Monster Hunter.
Yes.
They had I think they released the new content just recently for having like the final ending.
The thing with Monster Hunter, what's that one called? Monster
Rise.
Hunter Rise. It does kind of feel like a Diet Monster Hunter World.
It's supposed to be a Diet Monster Hunter world,
But if I'm gonna play one of them, I'd like do the one that's not Diet.
but does one have puppies?
One does not have puppies. I will give you that.
Yeah, the puppies are very important. This house, is it this house? No, this house. Okay, this house.
It's flying.
Yeah, and it's flying here, but what's even weirder is that it was almost flying in the background too. We're gonna decrease the everything on that one, because actually this camera is still going up. Well, the camera is there. We go. Okay.
That needs to be a multiplayer game where I can mod it.
Okay. Yep. So this house, definitely floating. We're gonna put it down like here maybe. I understand why I did that, but it definitely didn't work.
If I could manage to swap out the models for, say, Deep Rock, so that the bugs are just a bunch of horses. Would you download that mod and play it during a stream?
None of them be animated.
Yeah, they would.
You would animate them all?
Well, they would all be this, like, the ponies would be stretched over the bug animations.
But the bugs have 6 legs.
Yeah, or you just leave out some. It would be weird.
It is a multiplayer game, which means... No, actually, they just enabled more modding tools.
For Deep Rock?
For Deep Rock. That was one of their most recent updates, was modding tools.
We could have a bunch of horses fighting us.
Yep, so you can get yourself super delved into that to the point of depression.
Well, I'm already there, so I can't go any further.
Depressing?
Well, no, you mean killing a bunch of ponies?
No, to be depressed.
Oh, I can't. You can only go so far. I'm pretty much at the bottom, so it's fine.
Oh no, there's always further to go. Because you're alive.
Well, that's not depression. That's release. From...
Bad Michael.
You can tell I'm a happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Boss ups are tricky. If the shop is in military town or city, they get government subsidies and keep prices high, so not to sell. Oh yeah, I don't have to worry about that. It's more about getting something if they don't know what they have. Lenses are one of those things that I don't know, because you're going to ask them questions they don't have the answer to. So if they have something there, and I'd be like, well, unless it says the manufacturer or the model number, you're kind of shit out of luck. So is it going to fit what you have? So, but I'll have to check that out. And I would also bring a camera too. So like, hey, I brought my camera. Can we put it in there to see? Because I want to see, is it scratched and stuff like that. But still, if you're spending $10 for like $100 or $300 lens, it's really good. And if you get lucky where they don't know what they have, some good stuff. I bought a couple things from pawn shops. I had like a little wooden squirrel over there because it was like $1, and it was like a custom painted little squirrel. It's not that great of a painting, but I liked it, so it was like $1. I'm like, whatever, I'll buy it. The mixing bowls. I've actually sold quite a bit. I sold a lot of DVDs. I had at one point like 70 or 80 N64 controllers. They were all like the off-brand ones, but they were brand new, still in their plastic. Long story with those, and I ended up selling a couple to a pawn shop because I couldn't get rid of them. I was selling them to friends, but with the deal of I was sell you individual controllers where all you have to pay me is the cost of shipping, but up to 20 at a time, like the entire box. So I still have one of those unopened. For future animation, a house that wanders around eating ponies. Well, actually,
why would you want to hurt ponies? Says the guy who just talks about modding them in a deep rock.
So we have a house here, and he eats
ponies.
And he eats ponies. Nom nom. So yes, I've already done it. Yeah, he has doors within doors. It's like aliens.
It's very angry looking.
Just wait.
Just delete the barn. Where's our tractor?
Oh, apparently the eyebrows I'm using are Applejack's eyebrows. I just scaled up. So okay.
Well.
Most older lenses will not fit modern cameras. The one I got has some external cosmetic damage, but works fine. Yeah, that's why I want to bring my camera with. But it doesn't have to be old. Some people they started a habit or a hobby where they thought that they wanted to get into photography and then it just didn't work out, but it's past any return potential, so they sell it. Going to a pawn shop isn't about looking for something specific and finding that specific thing. It's about going there with no expectations of what you're looking for and finding something you didn't think you were looking for.
I feel like if you're looking for workout equipment, a pawn shop would be a good place to go.
A pawn shop is where you want to go there and you want to pick up something that if it's not, you don't have to worry about it not working when you leave. Like electronics. I don't know if I'll buy those from a pawn shop. I don't mind buying refurb, but I would not want to buy from a pawn shop. A pawn shop doesn't refurb; they buy it and then they resell it. A refurb is where they went through quality testing to ensure that it functions as it should. So I bought like a TV. I think the one I have upstairs was it's a 1080p. It's an older one, but it's like a 50-inch TV, and I bought it at a Best Buy for open box sale. So there was a sale going on where I got it on a sale, and then I got an extra like 10 or 15% off of it because it was an open box. And when I asked the guy, I'm like, so why was it returned? They said, oh, well, the guy got it home, and then when they put the box next to where they were going to put it, they realized it was too big, so they returned it. So it was not even removed from the box. Like, it still had this plastic wrap on the front. So, like, I got open box deal on stuff. So, just because open box or refurb doesn't mean it's bad. The word refurb means that somebody received it, fully tested it, and was quality tested using the same processes for the most part that they go through for new items. So it should work exactly the same. It really comes down to why was it returned. Most of the time it's because the person just didn't want it, or it didn't fit where they wanted it, or something like that. If it was physically broken, they repaired it and then tested it again and ensured it worked. Mm-hmm. So there's certain things that I wouldn't want to do that with, but there are certain things that I wouldn't mind doing that with. As long as there's a warranty upon receiving it, so that you can at least still like return it with no questions asked. All right, so I can't mark this one done, or these two done, because I have to put Apple Bloom in it. I'm going to actually make a note of that.
Bad horse.
How does I know what it means?
Means the ad derby.
And then this one, this one I'm going to have to add a little bit of the grass here, and across the side here, add some more trees, and then also I have to make her kind of weave around, which might require me changing the grass a little bit, because if I have her like weave around, I want just like within this shot, having the grass be like mowed down as she went. I want to make sure it looks like that too. Food for ponies. Ask Mike, will Argo record his small pony abuse? You've been here long enough. You got to know what's going on. Auction houses can be good places for deals if you can go on a night where there are fewer people. You can land great deals. The problem with auctions though is when you go to a pawn shop, you know that you have the potential to buy what's there. An auction is where you can get good deals, but now you have to work for it. And I'm lazy. And also an auction house is usually where you have an idea as to what you're looking for, or you're looking to make money off of whatever is being sold. Be kind of careful of online auctions. I can have at least one auction site that is really shady. Oh yeah, online auctions. No, I would not do that. I don't trust those. That's
pretty much all eBay is.
Yeah, eBay is the only one that I could, but in that case, I am going to be super, super picky on it. I have never... No, actually, I bought a couple things on eBay. The last one I can think of was my previous mics. I needed a windscreen. No, it was actually these metal ones. These little covers. Mm-hmm. Do you know how much they are new?
$20.
60.
Gross.
Yep, they were 15 on eBay.
That sounds like a much more reasonable price for a piece of metal.
So like
net inside.
There's supposed to be a little like foam, like not a foam, like a fabric to connect it to act as a sound buffer. I think that one didn't come with any. Yeah, that one didn't come with any. So I just shoved a cotton swab in there. But still, I saved $45 per. Yeah. And the only reason I got these was because there's a little issue where they cause a vibration if I bang it. RTX voice gets rid of that, which is nice. But it's better than the big honker that was over it before, so it's way easier to work with. But these are normally $60 for a tiny little piece of metal. eBay had them for 1/4 the price, so I will go on there sometimes. I mean, I just don't auction. I will buy it now.
I feel like the only reason they can charge that much is because you can't exactly buy them elsewhere, and the brand. No, you
can buy this brand new. I just don't want to pay for it brand new.
Well, I think the brand name is what.
Yeah, it has the brand. It's built for this because it has a small little arm in there, so it's built 100% for this. Nonetheless, we're done. Actually, in eBay too, I have a 1080 Ti that I am considering getting rid of. So it used to be that 1080 Ti was my mainstream. Well, not my mainstream, my main PC. Let me move here. There. Actually, you know, let's go to this one because then Michael can see. So my main computer was a 1080 Ti for a while. Then I got a 3080, so I moved the 1080 Ti to the stream PC to do encoding. Then I moved it now I got a 3060, so now I don't need the 1080 Ti anymore. But the eBay market for it, without like going overboard, is like only $100 less than I paid for it new. So I'm considering just selling it. Because I would be able to make a lot of the money back on it, and this is the time to do it. And then the main concern is, what if one of your graphics cards fails? Well, I can always pull the 3060 out to replace the 3080, and if I lose the 3060, I could just pony up and buy like a 10700 instead of a 10400. 10400 is not that great for encoding. 10700 should work better as a cheap alternative in the meantime until I could upgrade stuff to get something else. So I have alternatives, but the problem is right now, if you lose a graphics card and then you have no graphics card, because that's why people are paying so much. eBay Chinese merch auction, sometimes you can get good deals if you're willing to dig and stay on top of the bidding. Yeah, but then you also don't know what you're getting. Like, you can't trust even some of the ratings on people. eBay has too many people with no shame whatsoever. Something I saw recently, someone took the face off a cheap birdhouse, sticks a Buddha statue in it, and sells it. A house was trying for over $200. Hey, if somebody gets it and that's what they're looking for and what they need, and they're happy with it, then that person just saw a need and filled it. What I don't like is people that buy something, like the graphics card thing, where they buy something for one price and then immediately go and sell the exact same thing.
Scalpers.
The scalping thing, because it's changing the price of the original item. But
And they're making laws in the UK regarding scalping.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop people from scalping. It just makes it illegal.
Yeah.
So doesn't mean anything. Nonetheless, we're done for today. We'll be back on Friday to do some more this stuff, and on Sunday we will probably be back to playing Valheim if all 5 of us are available. I'm gonna guess that we are, so I'm guessing Sunday we'll be back to playing Valheim again. So yeah, we'll see you then, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to work on this more over the next couple of days, try to get some more content done.
Get those textures on that model.
Again, that section of the video I'm going to do last.
Yeah.
It's just too...
Well, I'm pretty tipsy tonight, so...
Only 2 drinks.
I've had a lot in the drink. You showed your family photos for like 45 minutes. You had a lot in your drink, too. That's all I'm saying.
If I got up, I could walk a line without issue.
Sure. But could you stop from also showing the officer your family photos?
So, last Thursday, it wasn't even a stream night, I had...
I always fill your whiskey up to the horse
I think
line.
I had 6 or 7 of these.
Holy crap. How did you function?
I started at like 5 and I went until 2. I did not feel right.
I was
on
wondering
Friday.
where the rest of the other bottle went, because it was only
through
gone for 3 days, and there was lots still in that bottle.
I went through the majority of that bottle one night. So, yes, I have a liver. I dare you both to walk a line. No, I am perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'm
2 drinks
sober
is to
now.
where I'm buzzed. But thank you, Nolan, very, very much.
Yeah.
We are both fine.
I like the derpy.
Michael doesn't have a liver. He survives off of just it. He just bathes himself in alcohol and absorbs it through
I
his
have to
skin.
drink the blood of others to keep mine clean. But that is how it
Okay.
works.
Anyways, we're gonna switch to Kitty here.
Yeah, Kitty.
While that's running though, we're gonna let me put because it was double the minimum. We're gonna put that one again.
More big derps. Hey, big derps.
It's like trying to pet the cat. It's like, pet the kitty.
Hey, no, I'm writing derpies. It's a good
You both are fine. Wait, no, I'm fine. 2 drinks, not enough. It's usually once I hit. Well, my first one I didn't make very strong though.
I always fill it up to here with whiskey. This is the horse line. It's the whiskey line.
With ice in there.
with ice.
Okay, yeah, that's a little bit more than I put in. Actually, though, with if it's a good whiskey and with the Zevia, depending on what it is, like with the cherry one, I could put a lot more whiskey in there, and it's pretty good. The Seagrams was pretty good.
Audio.
Yes, but goodbye, everybody. Thank you for popping up. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. Some progress was made, even if it was a little bit. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. There.